A woman named Hannah carried a deep sadness in her heart. More than anything, she wanted to be a mother, but she could not have a child. Her tears were her constant companions. Her prayers were quiet whispers of longing sent up to heaven. In the house of the Lord, she poured out her soul. A silent, moving prayer. She made a promise to God, a selfless vow. If he would bless her with a son, she would give that child back to him, to serve God all his days. A prayer born of desperation and of incredible faith. God saw Hannah's heart. He answered her prayer. The long years of waiting ended. She held her baby boy. She named him Samuel. Heard by God. She kept her promise. It must have been so hard. She brought her son to the temple to be raised by the priest Eli. She declared aloud, "I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked of him. So now I give him to the Lord." 1 Samuel 1:27-28. This single act of faithful giving sets the stage for all that follows. This moment between mother and God is more than one boy's start. It begins a new chapter for a nation. Hannah's story teaches a simple truth: conversations with God matter. He is not distant or uncaring. He is a loving father who leans in to listen. Her trust and willingness to give up what she wanted most. Young Samuel went to live in the temple with the old priest Eli. The Bible tells us that in those days the word of the Lord was rare. There were not many visions. It was a time of spiritual quiet, where the voice of God seemed distant and faint. Samuel served in the house of God, learning the sacred routines. He helped Eli. Eli's sons were corrupt and had turned away from the Lord. In this place of spiritual decline, God was preparing to do something new. He chose the ears of a child to be the first to hear his voice in a long, long time. One night, as Samuel was lying down to sleep, he heard a voice calling his name. "Samuel!" Thinking it was Eli, he ran to the old priest. "Here I am, you called me." But Eli had not called. It happened a second time, then a third. The boy was confused. Eli, with his years of wisdom, finally understood. He realized the Lord was calling the boy. He gave Samuel instructions that would define his life. Eli told him to go back, and if he heard the voice again, answer with a heart ready to receive. Samuel returned to his bed, awed and nervous. The call came again, clear and personal. "Samuel! Samuel!" This time, the boy was ready. He answered, "Speak, for your servant is listening." 1 Samuel 3:10. In that holy moment, a simple boy became a prophet of God. He learned to be still, to pay attention, and to obey. This was the foundation of his leadership. Before he could speak for God, he first had to learn to listen to God. This marked the beginning of Samuel's role as God's messenger to Israel. As Samuel grew from a boy into a man, his reputation as a man of God spread throughout the land of Israel. People came to listen. He was not like the corrupt sons of Eli who used their position for personal gain. Instead, Samuel was a figure of integrity and unwavering faith. He became the last of the great judges of Israel, a leader who guided the people not with a sword, not with a crown, but with wisdom and prayer. He traveled in a circuit to different cities, settling disputes, reminding the people of God's laws, and calling them back to faithful worship. He was a bridge between the era of judges and the coming era of kings. The people of Israel grew restless under the leadership of judges. They looked around at the neighboring nations, powerful kingdoms, mighty armies, charismatic kings on impressive thrones. In their eyes, Israel seemed weak and disorganized by comparison. They wanted the visible symbol of strength, a human king, a military commander to lead them into battle, a figurehead to make them look strong and respectable before the world. Their desire was born of fear and a lack of faith in God's unseen rule. They came to the aging prophet Samuel and made their demand clear. "Give us a king to lead us." This request broke Samuel's heart. God spoke to the grieving prophet and reassured him, "It is not you they have rejected, but they have rejected me as their king." He warned them, sons taken as soldiers, daughters as servants, taxes on harvests, vineyards, and flocks. Still they refused to listen. God chose a man named Saul to be the first king of Israel. On the surface, he was the perfect candidate, exactly what the people had envisioned. He was from the respected tribe of Benjamin. The Bible says he was a choice and handsome man. From his shoulders upward, he was taller than any of the people. When Samuel presented him to the nation, the people shouted with approval, "Long live the king!" Saul's reign began with great promise. He was humble at first, even hiding among the baggage when he was to be presented as king. He gathered an army and won victories, securing Israel's borders. He earned the respect of his people. He had moments of courage. He seemed to rely on God. The nation celebrated, believing they had found security at last. But beneath the surface, a weakness was growing in his heart. The turning point for Saul came when his faith was tested. Before a critical battle, Samuel instructed him to wait 7 days. He was to wait for the prophet to offer sacrifice to God. But as days passed and the enemy grew stronger, his army began to desert. Fear and impatience got the better of him. Instead of trusting and waiting, he took matters into his own hands and offered the sacrifice himself. When Samuel arrived and saw it,
"You have done a foolish thing. Your kingdom will not endure."
it was not one mistake. It revealed a fundamental flaw. Saul feared people more than God. He was more concerned with his image and his soldiers' morale than obeying the Lord. His promising beginning unraveled into tragedy. Because Saul had turned away, God rejected him as king and sent Samuel on a secret mission to Bethlehem, to the house of Jesse, to anoint the next king of Israel. Samuel thought the firstborn was surely the one, but God said, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." 7 sons passed, none chosen. There was one more, the youngest. David arrived from tending sheep. He was handsome, but only a shepherd boy. God chose him for his heart. A new king was chosen in secret. God prepared him in obscurity, guarding sheep, singing to the Lord. While Saul declined, the Spirit of the Lord rested on David. The armies faced a stalemate across a valley. For 40 days, Goliath mocked Israel and their God. A giant, clad in bronze, bearing a massive spear. Fear gripped the king and his soldiers. David came only to bring food to his brothers, but his heart burned with righteous anger. He saw a spiritual battle, not a military problem. He chose a staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones. David proclaimed for all to hear, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." His confidence was in God alone. 1 stone felled the mighty champion. After Goliath, David became a national hero, and the people sang of his victories. Saul's admiration turned to jealousy and fear. He tried to kill David, forcing the anointed yet uncrowned king to flee. David hid in caves and wilderness with a small band of loyal followers. His character was tested and refined. Twice God delivered Saul into David's hands. David refused to kill him, cutting only the corner of his robe, and even that troubled him.
"The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed."
He showed restraint and honored the office, though the man was corrupt. He trusted God's justice and timing, not his own ambition. He waited for God to place him on the throne in due time. The book of 1 Samuel ends in tragedy for Saul. Haunted by disobedience and abandoned by the Spirit, he dies by his own hand. His story warns us, talent, appearance, even calling are not enough. Leadership that lasts requires a heart of obedience and a listening ear. David's hard road led toward kingship because he kept listening. It begins with Hannah's prayer and Samuel's reply, "Speak, for your servant is listening." David learned to listen in quiet fields, in battle's chaos, and in the wilderness. True leadership doesn't begin with giving orders, but taking them from God. 1 Samuel is framed by listening, God speaking, people responding in faith. The stories of Samuel, Saul, and David invite us to quiet our fears and ambitions. God is always speaking, seeking those willing to listen. It doesn't start with a crown, but with a humble, obedient heart. When we learn to listen first, we are ready to lead in a way that honors Him.